Hello, I'm James Heaney, and this is Brief News Brief. First up in the news, we're talking about last night's events at the White House. Two Secret Service agents drunk drove their car into a suspicious package. In my imagination, I thought of this as being like the end of a Dukes of Hazzards episode, or maybe the climax of it, where the car comes whirling itself. Whirling itself? Barreling itself? It's coming over a ridge, and there's some gap between it and the ground, and it nosedives basically deep into a suspicious package. And this suspicious package, to me, is a big thing that looks like a present, but instead of having wrapping paper, it's a brown paper bag with rope, like hemp rope, tying it to an alarm clock. It's a suspicious package. But what we find out is it's not quite as exciting as that. Sure, allegedly they were drinking and driving. I'm not going to dispute it or even allege. I guess I did allege it. I don't know for sure. I didn't breathalyze him. I don't know him. I know his second command and his buddy George. But that said, what happened was they were driving somewhere and they approached a guard station that was empty. The guard station had been blocked off because they were checking out a suspicious package. So when they got there, they decided, well, we can't go through this guard station. To the best of my knowledge, they probably need to leave through a guard station, like, I don't know, get their ticket punched and leave. But what happened is they backed up, and instead of backing up flawlessly, they backed up and hit an orange barrel, one of those orange barrels with the reflective tape. That's what was being used to block it off. So when they backed up, they tipped that over. They never actually hit the package. The package ends up just being a book wrapped in a shirt. So that was a little boring. But nonetheless, those guys shouldn't be drinking and driving on the job. I mean, if you're a Secret Service agent, can't you just have, like, one of your Secret Service friends pick you up in a helicopter or something? I don't know. I've never worked for the Secret Service, but I figure that they must have some sort of other people around that could help them. Don't drink and drive. It's like celebrities that get caught drinking and driving. Just get a taxi, an Uber, a Lyft, anything. It's not that expensive if I can afford it, and I don't even have a job right now. But I certainly would take a Lyft before I drink and drive somewhere. Drink and drive? Drunk and drove? Whatever. You know what I mean. Put a couple pennies down and save your life and a lot of money. Well, on to bigger, better news. Jupiter's largest moon has been discovered to have oceans underneath it. Now, I don't want to sound crazy. Maybe this just doesn't sound like news to me. I thought that we knew of this for years already. But NASA has just come out and confirmed it has water. Apparently, it's a big sheet of ice on top, water, then like a lunar-style surface at the bottom of that with an iron core that's hot as hell. So they think possibly there could be life down there, which a lot of people would be like, oh, that water's going to be way too cold, blah, 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 blah. But recently, NASA took down a probe to the bottom of our own oceans, and they found that there was life able to be down there where there's no sunlight, and it is very cold. But they were living off of these areas that were getting, I think, like thermal vents. Thermal vents, you say? Didn't I hear that in the news, too? That's true. Saturn's moon, Europa, has been discovered to have thermal vents, which, again, people think that there might be the opportunity for life to be at those thermal vents. I think that's great. Good. I'm just wondering what a thermal vent is if it isn't in water, because I thought it would just be air. And if there's no water, wait a second, isn't water just basically like air but cold? So when I think to myself, if there's just a bunch of liquid down there, isn't that just a thicker air? Like in Chicago summers, the humidity is so thick you can cut it with a knife. That's basically like living in an ocean. Sure, there's more air than water, but it's getting close. I'd say that these oceans and thermal vents are just basically like a Chicago summer, but really cold. I don't know. I'm not an expert in these things, but I'm just not surprised when I hear about all the water out there. Even asteroids have water. I'm not going to be surprised by water in space anymore. Get me a picture of E.T. calling somebody on the phone, because I know he's out there, and that's the only thing that's going to really interest me. You know what else interests me, though? I heard from local sources that Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson recently went to, I don't know where this fashion show was, but for the sake of having an answer, it was Paris. They were in Paris for a large fashion show, and they took on their characters, which was Hansel and Hansel and... Yeah, probably Hansel and Gretel. It just seems to hit the thing. So Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson took their characters from Zoolander and walked the catwalk, announcing Zoolander 2. That's news to me! But apparently they also put off their signature move, Blue Steel. Or is it Magnum Steel? Maybe that's a condom. Well, you know, it's the face. It's where they go... Oh, I think that looked more like a fish face. Hold on. I guess I can't do the... No, I can do it. I can do it. Hold on. I got it this time. I don't know. That's the best I can do. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in to this week's news brief. It's rolling off the tongue better and better each time.